been a few weeks since the video for WAP hit the internet, and I have not heard much about anything else since. I kid you not, it was trending for several days, then it picked back up about a week or so ago after it hit #1 on the Billboard Hot 100. But obviously the primary reason for it resurfacing on my various social media feeds is the controversy behind the video and lyrics and the unsavory yet hilarious opinions from people like Ben Shapiro.
Yeah, you effin' with some wet-ass P-word. P-word is female genitalia. Bring a bucket and a mop for this wet-ass P-word. Give me everything you got for this wet-ass P-word. Beat it up, N-word. Catch a charge. Extra large and extra hard. Shut your bitch ass up!
In my personal opinion, I'm not bothered by the lyrics at all. I mean, sure it's wild, but I've been listening to wild shit all my life. I mean, I grew up listening to the Dog Pound, 2 Live Crew, songs about running trains, Trina talking about getting her throat ravaged, and many more songs that managed to get widespread criticism before social media was even a thing. So I personally don't understand the think about the children approach now of all times. If there was something my parents didn't want me to hear, they sent me to my room or some shit. Music has always influenced kids though. Even back in middle school, there were tons of girls sneaking off and doing wild shit that they heard in songs, and it would have given their parents heart attacks if they knew. Not saying that it's right, but this doesn't start with WAP. It's a societal thing and it has been for a long time. The separation of the youth from this is next to impossible since we can't control what they experience outside of the home or 100% monitor what they do in it, but there has to be some sort of effort made at home. Most of my peers that I graduated with are still young and they have families now. They listen to this stuff and act as though their children are deaf or just don't understand. But context clues aren't that difficult for a child to follow. So if you're waking up every morning and blasting unfiltered Cardi B and singing along thinking your child is just a child and has no functioning brain, then don't get on the internet and complain to the artist that your child is repeating what they heard, because that is your fault. Now, as far as the video goes, I'm not bothered by that either. I mean, as a man, if I see some ass shaking, I'm gonna look. Simple as that, but maybe that's just me. But excuse the opening rant, I just had to say that. But today's video was inspired by one of the many inaccurate rants that WAP spawned. A young woman posted a status on Facebook asking where this controversy was when Nelly dropped the tip drill video. What? That video is still considered one of the most controversial videos of all time, and Nelly still gets asked about it till this day. So I'm assuming anyone who is asking that is either really young or they just simply must have forgot. So since we have people pretending that WAP is the first music video to ever receive backlash, allow me to refresh you all on the tip drill controversy. Let's take it back to 2003. A great year. We got absolute classic albums like Get Rich or Die Trying, Chicken and Beer, Diplomatic Immunity, Speaker Box and The Love Below, some of my all-time favorite games like Tony Hawk's Underground, Soul Calibur 2, NBA Street Volume 2, way too many to name, and I also met some of my best friends who I still hang with till this very day. Oh yeah, and BET Uncut was still booming back then. Now BET Uncut ran from 2000 to 2006. During that span, it got tons of backlash. And easily the most notable was a direct reaction to Nelly's video for Tip Drill, which aired during the program.
When Tip Drill came out, it was a very kind of interesting effect. You know what I mean? It's like, I see all the men, you know, praised you, and I think a lot of women got mad at you at the time. What, you know, looking back on it, is that something you think you would have done again?
Hell yeah.
Yeah?
What did I do wrong?
I mean, from my eyes, you did nothing wrong.
I asked everybody that didn't like it. I said, what did I do wrong? I said, it may not have been within your taste, but what did I really do wrong? How did I, you know, somebody, you degrade women. How did I degrade a female who suggested that I do it? How did I do that? How did I do something to somebody that agreed to let it be done to them? They're grown. It's not like she was a child. It's not like I manipulated her into thinking. You see what I'm saying? And if you really had a problem with what I was doing, why wouldn't you go to them and ask her? You know what I'm saying? Why not interview the girl and say, how could you let somebody do that to you? And then if she feels bad, then you can come to me and say, yo, you made her feel bad. But see, everyone didn't ask. Nobody asked her. Everyone came directly to me with that shit. You know what I'm saying?
Produced by Kareem Johnson, the concept of the video was simple. A house party with a bunch of half-naked or fully naked women in some shots, and a bunch of guys having a good time. Nothing you haven't seen in music videos before. But there was no real direction for the video outside of just have fun, and that they did. Now, even though this video aired on Uncut, meaning that not only was it on a program with a TVMA rating, but it was also on around 2 a.m., a lot of people were disgusted by just how far it went. After seeing women simulating sexual acts with one another, and then ending with the infamous moment where Nelly swipes a credit card between a woman's ass cheeks, which occurs approximately 6 minutes and 20 seconds into the video because, I just needed to make sure for research purposes, the discussion of misogyny in hip-hop was at an all-time high. This culminated in 2004 when women at Spelman College would spark a protest and call out Nelly for the objectification of black women. This would be after Nelly attempted to hold a bone marrow drive on campus through his For Show for Kids Foundation. And for those unaware, Nelly's sister Jacqueline Donahue suffered from leukemia and ultimately lost her battle in 2005, unfortunately. But the drive was in support of her and others who could potentially find a match. Probably not the smartest idea to try to host it at a women's college while your recently released video was already a hot button issue in the media, but hindsight, I guess. So as a result of this, a feminist group on campus was organizing a protest. Nelly would catch wind of this and the drive was ultimately canceled due to him not wanting to be confronted by protesters while trying to promote something positive. In an interview with HuffPost, Nelly would express his frustration with the situation. He didn't believe that a charity event for health was the best time to bring up a music video on misogyny. So how can you compare that? You're trying to tell me that I gotta have a conversation about a video before we take care of bone marrow? What's more important? You robbed me of an opportunity, unfairly, because we could have still had your conversation after I got my opportunity, but it could have been somebody else that was coming to the bone marrow drive that day that was possibly a match for my sister, that didn't come because of that. Asha, or Aisha Jennings, forgive me if I'm mispronouncing that, a former member of the Spelman Feminist Majority Leadership Alliance, will respond to Nelly's criticism with the following. We are a historically black, all-women's institution. If there's anybody that has an obligation to young black girls in the community, it's us. Our important message was to show the African American community we shouldn't have to choose between these issues. They are all equally as important, we can do both. And so we fought tooth and nail in order to, before I graduated in May of 2004, put on our own bone marrow drive. Nelly has found himself being asked about this video ever since. Nowadays, tip drill may seem tame in comparison to what you might see the moment you log into Twitter or Instagram, but the legacy of what once was lives on. Obviously, you can't find it on YouTube, but if you haven't seen it, you can Google the full uncut video and judge it for yourself. In a 2015 interview with Ebro in the Morning over 10 years later, Nelly would again address the controversy.
The tip drill credit card through the ass cheek moment.
That was
people don't remember. I remember.
No, they remember. Trust me.
Yeah, they came for you, Nelly.
They got a little wild, man. But that was the thing. Like, if you look at that video now, and if you put it in
context
of what's going on right now, and you look at how far things are going right now, I mean, that video was nothing. You know what I mean? BET Uncut was already running for like 2 years.
Yes.
And I'm watching. I want a video for that show.
It was the credit card swipe through the ass cheek, I think, that really sent people around the bend.
But it wasn't my idea, it was her idea.
Really?
Yeah, it was White Chocolate's idea. Everybody knows that.
White chocolate?
That was the thing. Yeah.
I didn't know that was her idea.
Yeah,
it was an amazing
She's
idea.
an icon.
In a 2018 interview with Curly Nicky, the aforementioned director Kareem Johnson would stay 10 toes down in defense of the video, even knowing how it dominated conversations back then for the negative portrayal of black women. This whole setup was not a foreign concept, a house party in ATL with rappers, ballers, and girls in bikinis. It was a popular theme at the time on camera and in real life. And in defense of the credit card scene, he'd go on to say, "The scene in question was not planned, but it wasn't rejected either. If the girls weren't in the video, this wouldn't be a conversation. They were willing participants. That's the part that was missed. The model never requested for the scene to be edited. If Nelly has to be held accountable, so does the model. Responsibility needs to be shared." And even as recently as 2019 during an interview with Entertainment Tonight, the subject would be brought up yet again.
We gotta talk about Tip Drill. BET Uncut.
Yeah, man.
That was the one video, Nelly, where you're just like, is it safe to watch this?
Yeah.
You know, it's interesting that you caught some heat for content in that video,
Yeah.
but fast forward 3 years later, that's the norm.
That looks like regular ABC TV.
How'd that make you feel, man?
Because that look like regular TV right now. You know what I'm saying? Regular network TV. You know.
Right.
But back then it was, oh my God,
The
it was
most.
blasphemous. You know what I mean?
Heresy.
Yeah. But now, you know, I mean, you look at anything from TNT or anything after 10 o'clock and it's the norm.
Yeah.
But I mean, at that time, again, it was just a culture shock.
So obviously I know that people aren't really lining up to listen to Nelly interviews these days, but as you can see, this will forever be one of the things his career is most known for. Accused of expediting the downfall of BET Uncut, even though it went on for a couple of years after the video would premiere, Tip Drill would have dominated Twitter just like WAP if Twitter was a thing back then. The conversation would have most likely been much more aggressive as well. To suggest that it didn't cause a stir during his time is just brain dead. Such is the way of social media though. People can just make bold claims and pass them off as facts as though no one will call them out on their bullshit. But anyway, what do you guys think about the whole situation? Do you think Nelly was right in saying that every woman involved in the video acted as adults and of their own free will, thus making it okay? Do you think the protesters at Spelman were right to protest the bone marrow drive due to the misogynistic nature of the video? Let me know in the comments below. Leave a like if you enjoy it, subscribe if you're new, and yeah, there's a link to my gaming channel in the description below, so I'll be uploading there soon if you care. And parents, if you're doing one of those driving lip sync Snapchat videos to explicit music and you have a child in the backseat, they can hear you. So keep that in mind, alright? I'm out.